Lyra stood alone at the viewing window, watching the distant stars. The space station hummed around her, but none of the sounds came from friendly voices. No one spoke to her unless they had to. She placed her hand against the cold glass. Her pale blue skin looked normal. 5 fingers, the same markings around her wrists that all Lumini had. But she was not normal, not where it mattered. Maintenance drone, Lyra 7. A voice called over the speaker. Report to level 3 for cleaning duty. Lyra sighed. They didn't even use her real name anymore, just her work code. She picked up her tool belt and headed to the lift. The Lumini were known across the galaxy for their perfect unity. Their minds linked together in what they called the glow, a network of thoughts and feelings that connected them all. Every Lumini could feel what others felt, know what others knew. They were never alone. Except for Lyra. She had been born different. Her brain couldn't connect to the glow. The doctors had tried everything. Surgeries, special devices, even painful treatments that left her sick for weeks. Nothing worked. "There's the empty one," whispered a station worker as Lyra passed by. They always thought she couldn't hear them. But her hearing was excellent. Maybe even better than normal Lumini, who relied more on their mind connection than their physical senses. In the maintenance closet, Lyra gathered her cleaning supplies. Today, she had to fix the air filters and clean the meeting halls. It was boring work, but she didn't mind having something to do. The worst punishment was being left alone with nothing but her thoughts. As she worked, she remembered the day the council had sent her away. She had been only 16 years old. "The child is defective," the head council member had said. His voice was cold, but his eyes showed fear. "She cannot be allowed to remain among us." Her individual thoughts might spread dangerous ideas. Her parents had not fought the decision. How could they? They shared the same mind as the council. They felt the same fear of her difference. "You will be sent to Outpost 12, they told her. "You will work there. You will be given food and shelter, but you cannot return home." Now, 5 years later, Outpost 12 was the only home she knew. A cold metal station at the edge of Lumini space, filled with workers who avoided her and supervisors who watched her every move. Lyra finished cleaning and moved to the broken air filter. As she worked, she hummed a tune she had made up herself. Making up songs was something normal Lumini never did. They shared the same music, the same art, the same ideas. But Lyra's mind created new things all the time. She had nowhere to share them, but still they came. The station alert system suddenly beeped. "Attention all personnel. A foreign vessel approaches. Prepare for diplomatic visitors." Lyra's heart beat faster. Visitors were rare at Outpost 12. The last ship had come almost a year ago. She peeked out from the maintenance tunnel and saw the supervisors rushing around, giving orders. "The humans have finally responded to our message," one said. "This is their first contact team." Humans? Lyra whispered to herself. She had heard of them in station reports. A young species, not very advanced in space travel, but spreading quickly. They were supposed to be wildly different from each other. Different colors, different ideas, different ways of living. A species where everyone was different. Lyra couldn't imagine it. As the station prepared for the visitors, Lyra felt something new inside her chest. It took her a moment to recognize it. Hope. Lyra wasn't supposed to be in the main docking area when the human ship arrived. But she had finished her cleaning duties early and found a hiding spot behind some cargo containers. Her heart raced with excitement as the airlock doors opened. The first thing she noticed was how different they all looked from each other. The Lumini were all the same height with the same pale blue skin. But these humans came in different colors, sizes, and shapes. Some had hair on their faces, others had none. Their clothes were all different colors and styles. "Welcome to Outpost 12, said the station commander, his voice stiff and formal. "We are honored by your presence." 5 humans stepped forward, but one caught Lyra's eye. He was tall with dark skin and bright eyes that seemed to look at everything with interest. While the other human stood formally, he kept turning his head, taking in all the details of the station. "Thank you for your welcome," said the lead human. "We are eager to begin our diplomatic talks." As the official group moved toward the meeting rooms, the dark-skinned human hung back. He pulled out a small device and began taking readings of the station walls. Lyra leaned forward to get a better look, accidentally knocking over a small tool from her belt. The clang of metal on the floor made the human spin around. His eyes widened when he saw her. "Hello there," he said with a smile. "I didn't see you." Lyra froze. She wasn't supposed to talk to visitors. But no one else was around. "Hello," she said quietly. The human walked closer. "I'm Jack. I'm a scientist with the Earth delegation." He held out his hand. Lyra stared at it. She knew about handshakes from station data files, but had never done one. Slowly, she reached out and took his hand. "I'm Lyra," she said. Jack's smile grew wider. "You're different from the others," he said. "Your eyes have, I don't know, more life in them." Before Lyra could answer, a loud alarm began to ring throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridor. "Warning. Oxygen levels dropping in Section 6. Warning." Jack looked alarmed. "What's happening?" Lyra's mind raced. "Section 6. That's near the outer hull. Something must be wrong with the air system." The station commander's voice came over the speaker. "All personnel remain calm. Safety protocols activated." But Lyra knew the safety protocols. They would seal off Section 6 to protect the rest of the station. "There are people working in Section 6, she said. "The doors will lock automatically in 2 minutes." Jack looked at her with concern. "Can we help them?" No Lumini would ask that question. They would trust the system, follow protocol. But Jack didn't hesitate. "I know a shortcut," Lyra said, making a quick decision. "Follow me." She led Jack through maintenance tunnels that only she used. They reached Section 6 just as the air was getting thin. 2 Lumini workers were trying to reach the door, moving slowly as they struggled to breathe. "We need to get them out," Jack said, rushing forward. Lyra saw the problem immediately. The emergency panel that controlled the door was damaged. The standard override wouldn't work. Without thinking, she pried open the panel and rewired it in a way that wasn't in any manual. Her fingers moved quickly, connecting circuits in a new pattern. The door slid open. "Hurry," she called. Jack helped the workers through the door just as Lyra finished her override. The door sealed shut behind them, and emergency air flowed into the corridor. The Lumini workers stared at Lyra with wide eyes. They had never seen anyone bypass a safety system before. It wasn't allowed. It wasn't even supposed to be possible. But Jack looked at Lyra with something else in his eyes. "Respect. You should not have interfered with station systems," the supervisor told Lyra the next day. His face showed no emotion, but his voice was cold. "Your actions were not approved." "But the workers would have been trapped," Lyra said. "The automatic system was too slow." The supervisor stared at her. "The system is designed by our best minds. Your individual judgment cannot be better." Lyra wanted to argue, but knew it was pointless. To the Lumini, the group was always smarter than any individual. "Return to your duties," the supervisor said, "and stay away from the humans." But that order proved impossible to follow. Later that day, as Lyra fixed a broken light panel, Jack found her. "There you are," he said with a smile. "I've been looking all over for you." Lyra glanced around nervously. "I'm not supposed to talk to visitors." Jack frowned. "Why not? You saved those workers yesterday. You're a hero." Lyra almost laughed. No one had ever called her anything like that before. "I'm not a hero," she said quietly. "I'm a problem. A mistake." Jack's face grew serious. "Who told you that?" For the first time in her life, Lyra told someone her full story. About being born without the connection to the glow. About the failed treatments. About being sent away from her home. Jack listened without interrupting. When she finished, His face showed anger. "That's awful," he said. "On Earth, we would never treat someone that way just because they're different." "Really?" Lyra couldn't imagine such a place. "Really," Jack said firmly. "On my world, being unique is valuable. We need people who think differently to solve problems and create new things." Over the next few days, Jack would find reasons to visit parts of the station where Lyra worked. He told her about Earth, about cities where millions of people lived, each with their own thoughts and ideas. He showed her pictures of Earth's many different animals, plants, and landscapes. "Diversity makes us stronger," he explained. "When everyone thinks the same way, you can miss important things." One day, Jack brought a small device to show Lyra. "This is music from my home," he said, playing a song with strong beats and fast sounds. "We call it jazz. The musicians don't follow exact notes. They make it up as they go." Lyra listened with wonder. Lumini music was always perfect and precise, with every note planned. This Earth music felt alive, changing moment to moment. "Try this," Jack said, handing her the device. "Make your own song." At first, Lyra was afraid. Making something new wasn't the Lumini way. But Jack encouraged her, and soon she was creating simple melodies. Her fingers moved across the screen, placing notes where they felt right to her. "That's beautiful," Jack said when she finished. "You have a gift for this." "It's because I'm broken," Lyra said. "My mind works wrong." Jack shook his head firmly. "No, your mind works differently, not wrong. There's a big difference." As they talked, neither noticed the station cameras watching them. In the control room, the station commander observed their interactions with concern. "The human spends too much time with the defective one," he said to his assistant. "Their friendship could be a problem." "Should we separate them?" the assistant asked. The commander considered this. "No, the diplomatic mission is too important to risk offending the humans, but report everything to the council. They will decide what to do." Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of the station, Lyra felt something new growing inside her. Not hope this time, but something stronger. Pride. A week after Lyra and Jack first met, something strange began happening on the station. At first, it was small things. Lumini workers would stop in the middle of a task, looking confused. Some complained of headaches. Others forgot simple instructions. Lyra noticed the changes while fixing a water recycler. The Lumini engineer stood nearby, staring at his tool as if he didn't know what it was for. "Are you okay?" Lyra asked him. He blinked several times. "I cannot hear the others clearly. The glow is fuzzy." Lyra didn't understand. She had never felt the glow, so she couldn't know what it was like to lose it, but she knew it was serious. By the next day, the situation was worse. Lumini all over the station moved slowly, like they were half asleep. Some sat in corners, holding their heads. The perfect order of the station was breaking down. Jack found Lyra in the main corridor. "What's happening to everyone?" he asked. "The Lumini delegates canceled our meeting. They can barely speak. Something is wrong with the glow, their shared mind." Lyra explained. "But I don't know what." An alarm suddenly blared through the station. The commander's voice came over the speakers, but it sounded weak and confused. All personnel, report to." "I can't remember." The message cut off. Lyra and Jack looked at each other with worry. "This is bad," Jack said. "If their shared mind is failing, who's running the station?" Lyra realized something important. "I'm not affected. Whatever is happening doesn't hurt me because I'm not connected to the glow." Jack's eyes widened. "You might be the only one who can help." They hurried to the control room. Inside, they found the commander slumped in his chair. Other officers sat at their stations, staring blankly at screens. "Commander," Lyra said. "What happened?" He turned to her slowly. "A signal from the star system we just began exploring. When our research team activated the ancient ruins there, something woke up." Jack moved to a computer and began typing. "Look at this," he said. "There's a signal coming from that system. It's like it's targeting the exact frequency your people use to share thoughts." Lyra looked at the data. "It's an attack." The commander nodded weakly. "The ruins. They were left by the Vorn. A species that died out long ago. They must have built defenses against species like us." "Like you how?" Jack asked. "Connected minds," the commander whispered. "Hive species. The data files we found suggested the Vorn feared such beings, saw them as dangerous." Lyra understood now. They built a weapon that attacks shared consciousness, and our explorers accidentally turned it on. "Can we shut it off?" Jack asked. The commander shook his head. "Our ships cannot return. The pilots are too confused. We need to send someone to deactivate it." "But who?" "All Lumini who get close would be disabled." Lyra stepped forward. "I could go. The signal doesn't affect me." The commander stared at her with new understanding. For the first time, he didn't look at her with disgust or pity. He needed her now. "Yes," he said slowly. "The defective one. Maybe our only hope." Jack put his hand on Lyra's shoulder. "I'll go with you. I know about ancient technology, and humans aren't affected either." The commander tried to stand but fell back into his chair. "Take the small research vessel. Go quickly. If the signal continues much longer, all Lumini will fall into. He couldn't finish his sentence. His eyes went blank as he stared into nothing. Lyra looked at Jack, feeling afraid but also strangely calm. All her life, she had been told she was wrong, broken, useless. Now, her broken mind was the one thing that might save her people. "Let's go," she said. Jack nodded. Together, the small research ship flew quickly through space. Lyra sat in the pilot's seat, her hands moving across the controls with growing confidence. She had never flown a ship before, but Jack had given her a quick lesson before they left. "You're a natural," Jack said, watching her navigate around a small asteroid field. "How did you learn so fast?" Lyra shrugged. "I don't know. I just see how things work." The truth was, Lyra had always been good with machines. While other Lumini shared knowledge through the glow, she had to learn by watching and doing. This had made her mind work differently, more adaptively. Their destination appeared on the screen, a small rocky planet with ancient ruins spread across its surface. Somewhere in those ruins was the device sending the signal that was hurting the Lumini. "The signal is strongest from that large structure," Jack said, pointing to a tall, pyramid-shaped building. "That's where we need to go." As they prepared to land, a warning light flashed on the control panel. "What's that?" Jack asked. Lyra checked the sensors. Another ship, coming from the Lumini homeworld. A stern voice came through the communication system. "Research vessel, this is Security Officer Trix of the Guardian ship. Your mission is not authorized. Return to the station immediately." Jack looked worried. The Council must have sent them. "Maybe they don't trust us to handle this. Or they don't trust me," Lyra said quietly. She opened the communication channel. "Security ship, we are on a mission to stop the signal affecting our people. The commander sent us." "The commander is not in his right mind," Officer Trix replied. "Our ship has special shielding. We will handle this threat. You will return to the station." Lyra looked at Jack. "What do we do? If we go back, more Lumini will suffer while they try to figure this out." Jack thought for a moment. "Can we outrun them to the surface?" Lyra checked the distance. "Yes, we're closer to the planet, but they'll follow us down." "Then we need to be fast," Jack said. "Land as close to the pyramid as possible." Lyra made her decision. She pushed the ship's engines to full power and dove toward the planet's surface. The security ship followed, but their larger vessel was slower to maneuver in the atmosphere. They landed roughly on a flat area near the pyramid. Grabbing emergency packs, they ran out of the ship and toward the ancient structure. "They'll be right behind us," Jack said as they reached the pyramid's entrance. We need to find the device quickly. The inside of the pyramid was dark and covered in strange symbols. As they moved deeper, Jack studied the markings on the walls. "These tell a story," he said. "The Vorn were attacked by a hive-minded species. They nearly died out. These defenses were their last effort to protect themselves. They're long gone now," Lyra said, "but their weapon is still hurting my people." They reached a large central chamber. In the middle stood a glowing pillar of light, pulsing with energy. "That must be it," Jack said. "The defense system." As they approached the pillar, the floor suddenly lit up with more symbols. A holographic image appeared, a tall, thin alien figure looking at them with large eyes. "Identify yourselves," it said in a strange, echoing voice. "I am Lyra of the Lumini," Lyra said. "And this is Jack, a human." The hologram studied them. "Scans indicate you are Lumini in physical form, but you lack the hive-mind connection. Unusual." "I was born without it," Lyra explained. "And the human has individual consciousness," the hologram noted. "You are not threats according to Vorn defense protocols." "Your defense system is hurting my people," Lyra said. "Many Lumini are suffering. Please, let us turn it off." The hologram tilted its head. "The system targets hive-minded species because they destroyed the Vorn. It cannot be deactivated easily." "There must be a way," Jack insisted. "The Lumini aren't your enemies. They didn't harm the Vorn." Before the hologram could answer, they heard footsteps. Officer Trix and 2 security guards entered the chamber, their weapons drawn. "Step away from the alien technology," Trix ordered, though his voice was weak from the signal's effect. Jack stepped forward. "We're trying to help. This is the defense system hurting your people." But the officers were too confused to listen. One fired his weapon, just missing Jack and hitting the control panel beside the pillar instead. The hologram flickered. "Warning. System destabilizing. Self-defense protocols activated." The entire pyramid began to shake. "What's happening?" Lyra asked. "The system is overloading," the hologram said. "It will release a final pulse that will permanently damage all hive-mind structures within this sector." Lyra's eyes widened. "It will destroy the glow completely. Every Lumini will be lost." They had come to save their people, but now things were much worse. The pyramid shook harder. Pieces of the ancient ceiling began to fall around them. "We need to stop it," Lyra shouted over the rumbling noise. A hologram flickered as the system became more unstable. "There is one way. The system can be reset through direct neural interface. A conscious mind must connect and give the shutdown command." "I'll do it," Jack said immediately. "No," the hologram replied. "Human minds are too different from Vorn design. The connection would fail." "What about me?" Lyra asked. "I'm Lumini, but I don't have the glow." The hologram studied her. "You are a possibility. You have Lumini neural patterns, but no collective interference. However, the process is dangerous. It could damage your mind permanently." Officer Trix and his guards were now on their knees, holding their heads in pain as the signal grew stronger. "What exactly would I need to do?" Lyra asked. "Place your hand on the central pillar," the hologram instructed. "Your mind will enter the system. You must find the core control and shut it down from within." Jack grabbed Lyra's arm. "Wait, this is too dangerous. There has to be another way." "Is there?" Lyra asked the hologram. "No. The damage to the control panel has locked out all other methods." Lyra looked at Jack. For the first time in her life, someone cared what happened to her. It was a strange feeling. "I have to try," she said. "My whole life, I've been useless to my people. Now I can help them." "You were never useless," Jack said firmly. "Your people just didn't understand your value." The pyramid shook more violently. Time was running out. "If I don't make it," Lyra said, "tell the council that the Broken One saved them. Maybe they'll think differently about others like me." Before Jack could argue more, Lyra stepped forward, and placed her hand on the glowing pillar. Instantly, her body went rigid. Her eyes rolled back, showing only white. "Lyra," Jack shouted, but she couldn't hear him anymore. Inside the system, Lyra found herself floating in a sea of light and code. Strange symbols flowed all around her. She couldn't understand them, but somehow she felt their meaning. A voice, the holograms, spoke in her mind. "Follow the brightest path. It leads to the core." Lyra pushed herself forward, following a stream of golden light through the digital world. The journey seemed to take forever, yet also no time at all. Finally, she reached a pulsing sphere of energy. The core. "How do I shut it down?" she asked. "You must convince it you are not a threat," the voice answered. "Show it your mind, your true self." Lyra didn't understand, but she tried. She thought about her life, the loneliness, the rejection, but also the recent joy of friendship with Jack. She thought about what it meant to be different, to see the world in her own unique way. The sphere of energy pulsed faster, then slower. It was reading her thoughts, feeling her emotions. "You are not collective," a new voice said inside her mind. "You are individual, like the Vorn. You feel pain, joy, loneliness. You create." "Yes," Lyra answered. "I am myself, only myself." "Your kind hurt the Vorn," the voice said. "Consumed them." "Not my kind," Lyra argued. "I am different, and the Lumini today are not the enemies who hurt the Vorn. They explore and learn. They don't destroy." The sphere pulsed rapidly as it considered her words. "Show me the truth of your heart," it demanded. Lyra opened her mind completely. She showed her deepest feelings, even her love for her people despite their rejection of her. She showed her hope that they might change, might learn to value difference. The sphere glowed brighter, then began to dim. "I accept your truth," the voice said. "Defense protocol. Deactivating." The golden light around Lyra began to fade. The digital world collapsed inward. She felt herself falling into darkness. Her last thought before consciousness slipped away was of Jack, and the strange, wonderful feeling of having someone who cared whether she lived or died. In the pyramid chamber, the pillar's light faded. The shaking stopped. Lyra collapsed to the floor. Jack rushed to her side, lifting her head gently. "Lyra, can you hear me?" She didn't respond. Her body was limp, her breathing shallow. Officer Trix stood up, his mind clearing as the signal stopped. He looked at the unconscious Lumini woman with new understanding. "We need to get her back to the homeworld," he said. Immediately, Lyra opened her eyes slowly. She was in a bright room with smooth white walls. This wasn't the station. The air smelled different, fresher, with a hint of sweet flowers. "She's awake," said a voice. Lyra turned her head and saw Jack sitting beside her bed. He looked tired, but smiled when their eyes met. "Where am I?" Lyra asked. Her voice was weak. "The Lumini homeworld," Jack said. "In the central medical facility." Lyra couldn't believe it. The homeworld. She had been exiled from this place. No defective Lumini was allowed to return. "How long was I asleep?" she asked. 3 weeks, Jack replied. "The doctors weren't sure you would ever wake up. The neural connection with the Vorn system damaged your brain. They had to repair it." Lyra tried to sit up but felt too weak. Jack helped her, adjusting her pillows. "The Lumini, are they okay?" she asked. "Yes. When you shut down the defense system, the signal stopped. Everyone recovered quickly." The door opened, and a tall Lumini in formal robes entered. Lyra recognized him immediately. Head Counselor Miran, the leader of the Lumini Council. The same person who had ordered her exile years ago. "The hero awakens," Miran said, approaching her bed. Lyra stared at him in confusion. "Hero?" Miran nodded. "Your actions saved our entire species from disaster. The Council has reviewed what happened." Officer Trix's report was enlightening. Jack squeezed Lyra's hand. "They know everything you did, how you risked your life. Miran stood at the foot of her bed. We have been wrong, Lyra. For generations, we believed our strength came from our unity, from the glow that connects us all. We saw those born without it as flawed, dangerous to our perfect order. He paused, seeming to search for the right words. But you have shown us that there is strength in difference. Your unique mind, free from our collective thinking, saw solutions we could not. It adapted in ways we cannot. You're not sending me back to the station? Lyra asked. Miran shook his head. No, the council has something else to offer you. He gestured toward the window. Lyra looked out and saw a new building being constructed near the medical facility. Its design was unlike traditional Lumini architecture, more creative, less symmetrical. What is that? She asked. The new Center for Individual Development, Miran explained. A place to study and nurture the gifts of those born without the glow. Lyra couldn't believe what she was hearing. There are others like me. Yes, Miran admitted. Not many, but some. In the past, they were corrected or hidden away. That will not happen anymore. Jack smiled. I've been helping them design the center. The humans and Lumini will work together there. We're calling it the Bridge Project. We want you to lead it, Miran said, to be the bridge between our worlds and to help us understand the value of individual minds. Tears formed in Lyra's eyes. All her life, she had been told she was broken, less than whole. Now they wanted her to lead. What changed your mind? She asked Miran. Really? The head counselor looked thoughtful. When your mind connected with the Vorn system, something unexpected happened. For a brief moment, your experience was shared through the glow. Every Lumini felt what you felt. The loneliness, the pain of rejection, but also your forgiveness and hope. He placed a hand on her shoulder. We felt your heart, Lyra, and we are ashamed of how we treated you. Jack stood up. The diplomatic mission was extended. I'll be staying as an advisor to the Bridge Project. That is, if you want me to. Lyra smiled at him. I would like that very much. 2 weeks later, Lyra stood at the entrance of the newly completed center. Young Lumini children, those born without the glow, played in the garden. Their parents watched with hope instead of shame. Jack stood beside her, holding her hand. How does it feel? He asked. To be home. Lyra looked at the children, at the mix of human and Lumini teachers working together, at the future they were building. I never had a home before, she said. Not really, but now I do. She squeezed his hand and stepped forward into her new life, no longer rejected, no longer alone. She was exactly as she was meant to be.